Welcome to DBC Alumni, where every story inspires the next. The Alumni Podcast, where you get to hear the inspiring stories and transformation that DBC has had to offer its alumni. And now, on with the episode.
Sure.
Okay, and we're live here at the DBC Alumni Podcast, and this is a little bit different one for those of you that follow us on a regular basis. We're doing one with one of the instructors or one of the professors here. So I'm going to start. Let's have you introduce yourself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Kimberlee Koym-Mureita, and I teach in the Art Digital Media department here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think, I'm trying to remember exactly. Somehow we ended up getting connected, and I can't remember whether you emailed me or...
So Arthur King, who runs the gallery, had forwarded one of your podcast emails because I had heard about the video podcast, like in some meeting, faculty meeting, but I didn't know how to get a hold of anybody. Okay. So I reached out from an email he had.
Right. And actually that was perfect. And one of the things that I thought, and one of the reasons we're doing this, actually, we're in the art gallery here at DVC, is because you have a single showing going on, and it's much more interesting than our usual studio, which is up in our office, and there's not really a lot going on the wall. So let's talk a little bit about your journey on kind of where you grew up and kind of where you went to college, and then how you got into the arts.
Okay. Yeah. So I grew up in Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. I'm originally from San Antonio.
Okay.
And
I love San Antonio, by the way.
Yeah. It's a fun multicultural city. And then I went to university in Austin and studied theater design. And that, some of the work is in nature, and that's really related to my experience as a child growing up, having a rural existence, with my family in the country, and then a more suburban upbringing in San Antonio. Yeah. But the land is something that's really important to me.
Yeah. I think San Antonio's my first experience with it was driving on a business trip from New Orleans, and we went through Baton Rouge, and then we came over from Houston. I mean, first of all, Texas is way bigger than people think it is.
Yeah.
And then the thing that struck me was San Antonio. There was this sign that said, "Welcome to San Antonio." And there was this house way over there, and then there was a couple of horses, and there was nothing else for a while.
Oh.
And it was just, here in the Bay Area, everything's butted up against each other, and it's not like it's, there's, that next town over is not 40 miles away. So, but that must have been nice.
But these days, now it's more crunched all together.
But how was that growing up in that environment, and how did that kind of help form your view of as far as the arts go and things like that?
Yeah. So, I always made things with my hands, and I think that started in the country, on the ranch, working with animals, and that I did a lot of sewing with my grandma, and that I just really liked this kind of meditative quality that making has, right? And and that being in nature also brought me that kind of tranquility. Yeah. So that really made me want to always work in the arts. And I got into art from theater. I really liked the collaborative nature of theater.
Okay. So you're in Texas, and you end up out here, and I know people have gone the other way.
Yeah.
But that's, that you got to do that on purpose. So what got you out here to California?
Got me out here. Okay. So, first I used to work in the film industry, and so I'd come to LA for work at some point.
Anything we would recognize?
Actually, I worked on a lot of feature films. At that time, it was Michael and Tin Cup, and several different things. In the art department, and that I was always trying to move up, and so that's what sent me to LA. And ultimately, like being in LA, like made me realize I really wanted to work on my own projects. And so then I went to graduate school abroad.
Where was that?
So Central St. Martin's is where my degree is from, and that I was mostly in Holland, but I got to travel and go to Finland and like other places. Yeah, and and I picked up a Portuguese husband along the way, that we were in Portugal, and then that we were thinking of coming to the US, and because of my experience in California, I thought that the Bay Area would be a good, like mixture of like a European feel and American city, and I thought he would like it here. Okay. So this is where we picked out.
Okay, so do you got any good stories from your travels through that you can tell to a G-rated audience through kind of, because I mean that's very exciting. Yeah, is to be able to go to school and travel through Scandinavia and Holland and then also you ended up in Portugal and you happened to pick up a guy to bring home with you and it was all really exciting. Like it was, I love to travel. So the same shift that I get like from making artwork, right? Of like, you know, taking me out of my everyday life, like into something a bit more interesting, is what I feel like travel does for me. And like, so I loved getting to travel and going to like, you know, get to study for a few months in one country and try another culture, and that the community of that class was amazing. Yeah. And I was going to say is I'm often amazed because, I'll skip that whole part because but tell us about like the difference, because you're like traveling from Finland and down through kind of the Scandinavian to Holland, which is not part of Scandinavia. Yeah. And then you ended up in Portugal somehow, which is definitely not those things. What did you see about how was the contrast for you? How did you see each place as being very different? You know, the culture, the weather, obviously, but so my original choice of going to Holland, instead, because I could have studied in the UK, but the chances of me getting a Fulbright were better for Holland. And I did get to the second round of the Fulbright, but it didn't get a Fulbright. But I ended up like going there and I got this special Marshall Plan scholarship. Okay. That was like the 50th year of the Marshall Plan. Like, really? I got a scholarship that didn't exist before I left. But so Holland was like an easier track on the Fulbright. But I was really glad that I chose that because it was a much more experimental school. And they have like, so my work now has a relationship to social art practice. And that was really a big movement, like Ferris wheels in the street that took cars on them, right? Like so that you could see the city like in a car? In your car, like on the top of the Ferris wheel. Really? Yeah. Oh my goodness, that sounds. So was that as part of just the art of it, or just it was that the first week that I was in Holland, they were having this festival of interactive media throughout Utrecht, where I was. Okay. And that it was just like amazing. Like these things that, were made available to just to have a different experience in your daily life. Yeah. Yeah, we don't do enough of stuff like that around here. That's too bad. Yeah. Like how expensive must that have been? True. True. So I love how, Holland supports the arts. And so my travel took me to Finland because of I was interested in the film program that they were in Finland hosting as a part of my course, right? But I was there in the winter. So it was a pretty intense experience, especially being from Texas. Yeah. Right? Yes. There are lots of things to love about Holland, but when I got the chance to travel to Portugal, I checked it out
and it was, it's much more like California.
Yes, it is.
In the weather and Texas. And anyway, that it was just a really beautiful and special opportunity to get to live there after being in these more Germanic or Scandinavian countries, like that there's something like that's related to the freewheeling nature of Texas, like that's in Portugal. I mean, they're very different, but like, I could relate to it.
Well, yeah. And I mean, you go from having to have a thick winter coat, right?
Yeah.
To like, being able to wear like a summer and it's, go to the beach and, well, you're not really on the Mediterranean, but, I have a number of friends that have been to Portugal, and that's kind of like, I've been to Spain, but Portugal is one of my next ones where it's just like, I've heard it's beautiful. I've seen enough travel shows to know it's like, oh yeah, because the food is apparently spectacular. So with Finland, I don't know what they're known for. And, Sweden is, lutefisk and other things that are, hearty and hold up a lot. But anyways, we won't insult the Scandinavians anymore.
The food was the best in Portugal. The travels.
So you met this wonderful guy.
Yeah.
You guys got hitched, and then you decided to come home.
Yeah.
So what was walk us through that a little bit?
Well, that feels like ancient history now.
I know.
Right?
Well, we'll get into it. Come on,
anyway, So we were traveling together all the time. Like he ended up going to Finland too. Like even though like our class was only 13 people, like 5 of us went to Finland. Anyway, so so we were just on a great adventure together, and and that after a point, he had never been to US. And so, it was about 3 years being in Europe, and that he was really interested in the US, and I wasn't having the easiest time like finding work, like especially like from what I was used to in the film industry. So we came back. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you ended up here in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And which?
Well, we had a little trip to Texas and then to Bay Area.
What did he think of Texas? What did he think of Texas?
It was Texas. An adventure. It was an adventure. He loved my grandma, and like one of the first things we saw, we're like driving into Texas, and there's a chain gang. Like of people like working on the side of the road, and like this is like welcome to Texas.
Okay,
so. All
right.
Yeah. Anyway, it wasn't the easiest place to be named Pedro.
So, okay.
Yeah.
So he definitely was a bit of a culture shock.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was, and so coming to the Bay Area felt more exciting and more like our travels from before. Yeah. Yeah. And there are good things in Austin.
I love Austin. I love Austin. And the barbecue there is A1. I mean, it is just the best. And it's a funky town, and it's cool and it's groovy, but it is also in the middle of Texas. So it comes with all the things that are Texas. So good, bad, and indifferent. And Texas is a spectacular state. It really is. So you end up here in the Bay Area, and how did you evolve in, because you've been teaching for more than a minute. We won't say how long necessarily, but more than a minute. How did you end up here at DBC and what got you into teaching art?
Yeah. So I went to Mills, which now is Northeastern. But I taught at Mills. And so that experience gave me a feel for that. And I had actually done some interviews before going to Mills for teaching work, because I had a master's from my studies abroad. And anyway, so Mills was kind of the red carpet to getting a teaching position, and that happened pretty quickly after I graduated. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
you're at DBC actually.
So you ended up coming here to DBC. You're also teaching now over at Cal State East Bay.
Cal State East Bay. Yeah. And I taught before at CCA, California College of the Arts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So as adjunct faculty, we float around quite a bit.
Yeah. So, so what prompted you to want to get into teaching art? Because I mean, obviously, you went from the film industry, and then that wasn't happening the way you wanted it to.
So teaching is something that really you affect people, and that it's personal, right? Like I could be on a film set with hundreds of people, and really not have that much say in what's happening. And so teaching gives me more fulfillment of like helping people,
connecting people one-on-one.
And getting to help them learn how to express themselves and be expressive.
Okay.
Like within the classroom, and whereas a lot of other education is all about learning like something else, right? And this is about kind of about learning how to express yourself, right? So through whatever media. I teach a lot of technical media, so I'm also teaching tech. But
talk about that.
Yeah,
this.
Your impressive video microphones. I'm like, I want some of those. Yeah, that I teach video production and motion graphics.
I might be in your class this fall. I have a video, and it's mostly about learning how to edit because my editing skills they're all hacked together on my own. So that's somebody else. Okay. But if you want to go for motion graphics, then I'm here. Then I might be taking that one next. And
I teach sculpture and more traditional media at Cal State and the senior project class.
Okay. So have you seen the for one, I'm sure because you've been teaching for more than a minute, you've seen the art medium change. It's not just, I mean, for one thing, printing has come a long way in 15 years. It's spectacular. Now I'm just amazed at stuff we can order off of Google for my in-laws, a picture of us, and it looks spectacular. And I took it with my cell phone.
And that I'm teaching fully online for DBC, right? Now I used to have a Zoom class, and now I don't even have that, right? I'm fully online, so that's the biggest thing, right? Okay. The media hasn't changed as much as the delivery of the education.
I think COVID did kind of accelerate that.
COVID did that. But the cameras and the equipment has changed, but that hasn't been as I mean, now with AI, I wonder how quickly all the programs I teach are going to change, right? Like Photoshop, After Effects, and Premiere. They all got AI now. But I don't know, how much it's going to really start to.
So how do you see? Because one of the things is at first, everyone thought AI was going to murder us all. Yeah. And I talked to AI experts, and they're like, no, it's going to change the way we interact with things. But so how do you see AI, a general, how do you see AI as far as an artistic bent? Because in one way I see it as making the ability to create art kind of more accessible for those of us that are art inhibited. But at the same time, it's I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about that. And I know that's one of the big struggles in the community.
Yeah. So, I think that it's just going to be another tool, right? Okay. And Photoshop was a tool, and that people were worried that, Photoshop would take over painting, right? But painting is always going to be around, right? I went back to painting the last couple of years after not having done it in 20 years, right? So I think that traditional media is always there, and that people should always get those skills because they enhance your ability to do digital work, right? And that if somebody produces something with AI, they have to be able to see You know, what
Yeah.
looks real, what doesn't, be able to determine, well, oh, that light is coming from this direction. You know, like why is it that it doesn't look right is a really trained artistic eye.
Well,
right? Like, not everybody can do that.
True. And I've created a couple things where the biggest problem is AI stuck the head on backwards.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, and basically had you facing away from the audience and, you know, which, you know, I'm not trying to fool anybody, you know, because I'm not gifted in that direction. But it's like I think about that as far as, do you see it as something that makes the ability to kind of the entrance point into art, into creating art a little bit easier for people, or just different?
You know, I'm a little bit worried about it. Oh, it looks like they're bringing a class in.
Oh, well, we'll be okay.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm a little bit worried about how it's going to go, but, you know, like we just have to see, right?
Yeah.
Like I know at DBC, like my chair was encouraging us to teach like AI, like or to see how we can experiment with it. At Cal State, I heard a little bit different like direction about like, well, make sure the students know that you can't use that in their portfolio, right? Like it's AI, and more like having a word of caution against it. So I think that there's both camps of like how the artistic community is like engaging with like what they think AI is going to become.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times the initial reaction is, you know, to push back and say, no, we can't have that. When the truth of the matter is usually by the time we have that statement, it's already too late. It's already here. And so it's like, how do you want to use it as a tool, or how do you want to, you know, get people to be able to, you know, encourage it or whatever. So, So, anything else you want to talk about before we start looking at your artwork?
Did you want to talk a little bit about the content of the work?
Yes.
The work?
Yes, absolutely. So we were going to get to that. So
so the title of the show is Trends Versus, and it was crossing through like different time periods in my life, right? Like during the pandemic and like changes, like So I ended up divorcing the Portuguese guy, which is why, you know, I was like, oh, that's funny to bring it up or to go into that story.
But again, it's like that's the path that got you here. So.
Yeah, and well, but art is a way of like shifting from one reality to another, and so that's, I think, what the work is really like noting, right? And that me as an artist, then that's what I'm always doing, right? Like is using art like as I move through my life to mark the changes, right? Or to mark different things that are happening. Yeah. So we've got the pandemic, like, and me spending time in nature as a way of just like, you know, taking care of myself, a self-care like routine of like, you know, being in nature. And then we've got like right before the election, I was casting, I cast other people to have conversations about, you know, what's going on in the world. So these guardian mothers were in reaction to Trump possibly winning the election, that exhibit was called Pussy Pushback.
Okay.
Right? And that I cast teenagers, my daughter, who was voting for the first time in November. And that was like taking all these different parts of the community and casting them and having a conversation, actually with my conservative relatives in Texas, about like, you know, what the Trump presidency would mean for us and how we were anxious about it. Yeah. So
that must have been an interesting conversation, because I know that one of the things I'm and we don't talk about, you know, politics, but where I'm always interested is when I find somebody on the other side of the aisle, for me, whatever it is, on the other side of a question or a statement or something. Well, tell me how you got there. It's like, and I've had friends I spoke to years ago that I greatly respected. I said, why did you vote this way. And they explained it to me. And it's like, if you can explain it to me and not in hyperbole or, and something like that, but actually reasoned out why you did it, then I'm like, oh, okay, I can get that. If it's just, you're going to throw things at the wall and, yell about stuff, it's like, we're not having a conversation. It's just, again, it's like, can we have a conversation about it? And I think to some degree, some of this speaks to that. We're going to walk around in a minute.
Yeah.
You get to talk your way through some of this stuff too, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'd like that. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I think art is always a conversation, like about your own, like that it comes from my personal perspective, but then I'm trying to include other people. By with the body casting. Yeah.
Which is very interesting. I mean, now I get some of the content, why it looks the way it does when you explain the context of it. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. The angry woman.
Well, yeah, we'll get over there in a minute. We'll get over there in a minute. We'll get to talk through all this stuff. So, so when somebody shows up in your class, let's say one of your medium classes, right? Not your editing classes, but one of those classes to talk about art medium or something like that. What do you look for them to do? What's like your first thing that you tell them when they walk in the door? And let's say, imagine it's me and I've never done anything like this. I'm taking a how to do art 101, we'll imagine. Okay.
Yeah. So I always say that my classes, although I'm in the art digital media department here, right? And that they're all digitally delivered, right? That you're going to learn like Photoshop or After Effects in my class, but it's not a technical class, right? It's an art class first.
Oh, really?
It's about expression and using the tool for artistic expression.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so yeah, it's not, you have to push yourself of like, well, what are you communicating with that?
Yeah. So it's not just about creating an effect. It's about why are you creating the effect? What do you want to do with it?
Yeah. And how do you use the tool creatively? How do you use the tool creatively to make the communication clear? How do we make our statements clear? Just like in English class, right? Like, what's the point you're trying to make? And can we clarify your point?
Right.
Yeah. With like, how something looks.
Okay.
Yeah. Create visual hierarchy.
Yeah.
Visual language hierarchy. Yeah.
So in a minute, we're going to walk around and look at your art and you get to talk about that.
Okay.
If you're good with that.
Sure.
So I'd love to. You have a show here, Traverses.
Traverses.
Okay, there we go. And this goes on. I didn't keep my glasses on, but this goes in. You were talking
to August 28th. It's open till August 28th. We have an artist talk on August 26th, I think at noon.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Here at the art gallery?
Should be at the art gallery.
Okay, cool. We'll confirm that stuff. And then we'll link to all this stuff and your Instagram and your website in the show notes. So
awesome.
You ready to go walk around? We'll take a look at stuff? Okay.
Sure.
All right, why don't you step in and kind of...
Okay, so this picture is called A View from My Room, right? And so like this is the pandemic, right? Like working from my room, talking to people on Zoom. And that I usually use this 360 camera to shoot outside in nature. But I took a shot of my room since I was using it more as my studio than my art studio.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, this picture relates to the rest of the work. Okay. Like in that, that this is where it began or came from.
So I love this piece, by the way. Thanks. Why don't you talk about that?
Yeah. So this is Rose Forest Walk, pandemic relief. And so it's taking the candles and things from my room and overlaying it digitally with this image of the forest. So this is me walking in Joaquin Miller Park. I'm holding the 360 camera. So it feels like we're like really far above, but it's really just like a couple of feet above my head.
Yeah. Well, you got it going over here too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then, these images were created in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the same effect. So I'm taking a still from a video here. And so this one's called Into What's Next. Yeah, so I think that with that first one, right, like we're like kind of like the lostness of the pandemic, of like the uncertainty of where are we going and what, like I really feel that here. And that was also a big life transition.
Yes.
Yeah. So like Into What's Next is this one. And then this one's called Pandemic Uncertainties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm using the effect of the camera, this 3D kind of swirl to suggest that feeling of uncertainty.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is interesting with the that you got going here.
Yeah, that then the trees end up feeling really bent with the 360 camera. I feel like these also have an aspect of fairy tale, or you could maybe say myth, like
And it goes very well with this one.
Yeah, and this one is back to Joaquin Miller, which is more of a park that I go to more regularly than like Santa Cruz. Yeah.
Okay.
And then here we go into the body casting. And so this piece like kind of links the two, like the forest. This is wool, but it has this green forest look. And then that it feels more like maybe a statue or something you might find in a forest. Yeah. Yeah. Then this room is all, it's called Embodied Forest. And so it's got a circular camera. This is again, the Santa Cruz Mountains. And it just has a different way of framing that I stuck with the globe feel. And and the video is where I'm taking the stills from. Yeah.
Looks like you've got like a 360 with a fisheye lens on it.
Yeah. So this one is a 360 Fusion, and I originally borrowed that from DBC, right? Like that they lent me the camera, like to try it out, right? Like then I can teach something better. Yeah. And that then because everything shut down, I ended up having the camera for a lot longer than originally planned.
And you got a chance to use it quite a bit.
I got to use it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you explained again. So explain again. It's like where so I get it now what the thing is. So tell me about
so the body casting comes from like, actually it was an embodiment thing that I did with friends and other people as a expression, and then I started bringing it into my artwork and wanting to cast different people. So this one is like a fist in the air, and it's me, like that one, and this is kind of a reaction to our current landscape, our current political landscape, and just frustration over things that we can't control. Yeah. This one's called Medusa. And it touches on the ways women have been represented historically, and in myth and in reality. Yeah. And then these are like more gentle, like this is like so.
Now, one of the pieces I like very much, maybe it's because of the lighting on or something, but this piece right here, what's this one all about? Yeah, so this is called Varied Identities. And so the name traverses also like is like talking about crossing into like maybe mythological or celestial like realms, right? Too like how do we go into the imagination when like this year after
the pen, after the election, then it was a little bit harder to make political work. Like, I wanted to do something a bit more lyrical. And so went into talking about like, this sky tiger who,
Okay. And then you have a couple more pieces.
Yeah, a couple more pieces. This one's called Stasis.
Okay.
And it was like more like there was a lot of movement in the other pieces.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is a great show. So again, don't go anywhere. You get to stand here. So again,
I'm sitting behind the camera.
Oh, I know, but I get to. That's my job. So again, it's like I want to thank you again for being part of this so much, and we're going to link to your stuff on it.
Okay.
Again, one more time, it's like this show runs till, and it's here at the Art Gallery at DVC.
Yeah,
and it runs till
August 28th.
And then
gallery is open 9 to 4.
Right.
Monday through Thursday for sure. I'm not sure about Friday.
Yeah, I don't think Fridays yet.
Yeah. And then artists talk on August 26th at noon.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much for coming down. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in to DBC Alumni, where every story inspires the next, the podcast for the DBC Alumni Association. You can contact us at alumni@dbc.edu with any comments, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our podcast.